Hello everybody, Glitch Reaper here. I'm actually going to do a double review here. I actually am a big fan of whenever vanilla and mods sort of edge each other on, and especially whenever mods actually incorporate new vanilla features over time, or totally embrace them in this case. Basically said, this is all about arrows and shields. Yeah, specialty arrows and shields. Now, some mods have done like various shields and arrows before, and of course, there's been some that I've even played with myself that's like that. But one thing vanilla was sort of lacking until 1.9 was a selection of ways to actually use that. And really, I just got rid of the rain a moment ago. That's very convenient. Having an item that gets rid of the rain is very useful for mod reviews. Okay. Sorry about that. Okay, that was just an unexpected interruption. As I was saying, one thing vanilla was lacking until about 1.9, and therefore mods were the only ones doing it, was finding a way to select between different arrow types, whether they were added in, modded, or not. So, it's one of those things that just sort of was missing. And, yeah, I know, I'm just kind of doing something here. Okay. I'll just turn the music off for a moment. There we go. Okay. Well, the thing is, you can see me... need to lick lips. You can see behind me a few various arrows that are special, and over on this wall, we have shields that look like apples. As I was saying, this is actually a double mod review. We have the Apple Shields mod, and we have Bullseye. Bullseye is for new arrows, and Apple Shields is shields that look like apples. I mean, seriously. This is an apple shield. Some people may have actually added their notch apple to a banner to make a shield with a Mojang symbol on it. This, on the other hand, is one better. This is a shield that is a golden apple. In this case, an enchanted golden apple, so... yeah, that says dedication. Anyhow, but yeah, I'm going to reveal what various ones do from both mods. We have specialty arrows, and we have this. And as I was saying before, now that vanilla actually has an arrow selection system, like giving you priorities, well, remember the flip that they added? Well, there's good reasons for that. Okay, so let me show off some of these arrows. Now, do remember hitting the pick block button whenever aimed at an item frame will give that to you immediately. Now, each of these has different functions. I think because they're opposite, I'll start off with the fire and ice arrows. Now, one thing to remember is that if you have an arrow in your offhand, it will have absolute priority. And of course, you can switch that around quickly by doing this. So, let's say that I start off with fire in my offhand. And, well, there's somebody that might wind up illustrating it. Oh, I missed you. I am totally... I think it's diffusing in the water, because it's supposed to set blocks on fire, so it has block collision. There we go. There's the fire. Now, just opposite of that... Oop, wrong slot, sorry. We have ice. So, if I were to aim at this spot over here... it covers it with snow and freezes water into, well, this is actually frosted ice, which was also added in 1.9. It decays over time on its own. If by any chance you shoot it regular ice, then you will receive packed ice. So this arrow has some interesting side effects for building. So you can see that they can have all sorts of effects with this based on the selection system, and if I just put something in my offhand, that's the absolute priority. Otherwise, it tends to go from right to left, I believe, in priority. So let's again try experimenting with trying to make it prioritized. So let's put these ice shards from ice shards over here. Okay, so I'm going to burn the ground. And then I'm going to switch these two around. And now it should be the ice arrow. Yep, it's the ice arrow. So you can see how the priority goes. Now there is an order in your inventory, but you've got to remember that for your convenience, you might want to actually be watching your arrows anyhow. So just remembering which way it goes when it's in your active hotbar is pretty good. Now, each of these has its own recipe, and so do the shields. Oddly enough, the shields are actually made of apples. There's a thought. Okay, so let's put these over here for now, and I can go over various recipes as I show them off further. Well, actually, now that I'm thinking about it, I probably should have grabbed this one and this one, because they're basically opposite each other. And I should also grab a little something. I need lava. There we go. Okay, now the fire arrow, which burns mobs that it hits and puts blocks on fire, it just requires some blaze powder instead of flint, and otherwise any stick and feathers works out. And you get 4 at a time, sort of like with regular crafting. And as for the extinguishing arrow, it's kind of interesting. It's actually a bottle of water. You get 4 of them, but I gotta admit the graphics kind of interesting and odd. I mean, the angle of it just seems weird. I think if you would have lined that little nub up there with the rest of the arrow, it would look a little bit better. But anyhow, the point is, this will actually not only extinguish fires, this one I find really interesting of an idea, and I can see the use of this one. Okay, let's swap that out. There's a reason why I have some milk for later. Now, all this gravel here looks a little glaring. So let's fill that with lava. Yep, it's a normal reaction. Now, you can see the obsidian right here, but what happens whenever I hit it with the extinguishing arrow? It turns the lava directly into obsidian. It will also put out fires regularly. So, oh, and by the way, fire arrows also melt snow and ice, so yeah, these two really are opposite each other. Like if I swap these two around, again, remember attack order, it's instantly gone. So, yeah, it does that. Extinguishing arrows will also break torches, apparently. There's a thought. So you can take down lights at a distance, and you can also use this effect of turning lava into obsidian even in the nether, so you no longer have to worry about the fact that you're got a limited water supply when there's like none. So, yeah, that's gotta come in really handy. So let's explore a few of these other arrows. That one I'll do later because there's a little thing about it I'd like to illustrate that's not exactly working. Or at least it's not as it was described. We have the diamond arrow. Diamond arrows, as you can imagine, have diamonds. You get 4 of them. They basically just hit a lot harder. So, not much too different there, but it does give you an alternate ammo that just hits like a truck. This bow only has power 1, but I don't have a big mob right here that I can just obliterate with this. Well, maybe whenever it gets dark. I'll keep this one for later. As I said, they prioritize on your active slots. So remember that, just in case I need to draw that one out. Here is, well, let's, that one's a little explosive, so I'll wait a little while on that one. Here is lightning arrows. These are absurdly expensive. Nether stars. Nether stars. Ouch. I mean, seriously, the price of this arrow. But you can imagine what happens whenever you fire one. So, let's say you got a mod that requires you to strike something with lightning. Yeah, I've been through that before. And you're probably thinking, well, if you don't have another mod that's going to help do it easily, how are you going to get the lightning? Well, here's your answer. Lightning. That's exactly what it does. I've seen an arrow do that before in a mod. Specifically, it was, I believe, I think they called it, well, there was elemental arrows, but then there was ropes plus after a while. And it basically had all the elemental arrows and then some other stuff like grappling hooks and stuff, which was cool. But one of the arrows it had was a lightning arrow. And this just hits really hard. Of course, this guy's got really tough armor. Am I missing him? Is it just me, or are these arrows flying faster, straighter? But yeah, this is hitting... Let me tell you one thing about the enemy I'm fighting here. Those are Ikas from Lycanite's mobs. They have a very high armor rating. So in case you're wondering, that actually was doing pretty good against them. Because they are insanely tough. So, yeah, that's actually pretty good. And again, this only has power 1. Although, I have something to aim at with this. This is a bomb arrow. It's saying work in progress here. And as you can imagine, for something explosive, it uses gunpowder. So, as its warhead. So, that's going to explode. That's like a super fun one. Wait a moment. No. Now I remember what that one was. That's not the one I'm saving for last. Okay, quick thought. Okay, this is the bomb arrow. So, let me just offhand this, just for kicks. Can I explode you? Well, it's explosive and apparently sensitive to flying. That's not rock fishing there, that's dynamite fishing. Only I got it strapped to an arrow. And this is able to actually destroy terrain, so things will blow up. I think I'll aim right about here. Note, it is not as big of a blast as TNT. Alabaster. That's nice. So, you won't really destroy too much terrain with it, thank goodness. And that is disableable in the config, by the way. There's a lot of configuring that goes around behind the scenes that people don't exactly know that... I'll just keep that one there. They don't always realize they can just go into a config and deal with a lot of situations that they're going, I don't want that. Well, sometimes you just gotta look into the config. I've done a lot of things with that, actually. Okay, so... Again, with priorities. This one is really fun. This is actually an exchangeable recipe. Whatever dye you'd like and whatever thing is registered in the Forge or Dictionary as a colored dye will work here. So, for example, this one is anything black, but you can exchange that for any other color that has stuff registered for it. So, if you want a blue arrow, you've got a blue arrow. And again, priority. Ooh, I need something to test this with, because this has a very interesting effect. Dye arrows work on literally anything that has a color when it hits. Like, if you have a block on the ground like wool and you hit it with it, it will change its color to whatever the color the arrow is. If you have sheep, you'll actually change the sheep's color. Let's just get several sheep in here. Oh, come on. Alternate colors, please. Am I really just gonna do an entire flock of... Oh, finally. There's a darker sheep. Okay. Thank you. Now, these do less damage than normal, specifically because of this function. But if... I'll just let the rain go right now. Well, no, I won't. I won't. This is for a mod review. I need to take care of it really quickly. I'm not fishing right now. Thank you. As I was saying, this deals less damage than normal. And in addition to recoloring blocks that are colorable that's on the ground or in the world, you can also recolor mobs, like if you have wolf collars or, as usual, sheep. They deal less damage than normal. So you may notice that was a full sheep that just took 1 point of damage. I think this is light gray. Well, now you're a black sheep. I already hit that one. So you can see it changes their colors. Now, one thing that you cannot do to yourself, but supposedly works on other players, is if you hit them with this, it will recolor their leather armor. I find that a unique idea. He said that it was basically perfect for minigames, what you had in mind, and I gotta admit, that's actually a cool idea. Turn the other team black or blue or whatever color you'd like. It's all about paintball in Minecraft. So I can totally see that being a thing. I'm going to get that one out of the way. Now, the next one is kind of a bit of a joke, but I've seen this actually in a mod before, so I guess they didn't realize that that's, oddly enough, been done. It's the... Well, okay, no, wait. It wasn't done the same way. That was it. It was, the last time there was an egg arrow. And, yeah, this, as you can imagine, this takes an egg to make them. Last time there was an egg arrow, it turned mobs into chickens. This one has a chance of making a chicken whenever you shoot it, so if you really need a chicken in a very exact spot, I could see doing that, in a way, and... Oh, I didn't see that one coming. The reason why I got that feather is because Botania's in this instance that I made, and if you got Botania, various mobs will shed certain things. That little baby chicken, that little chick, just instantly shed a feather for me, instantly. Oh, that was new. I hadn't seen that ever happen that quickly before. Okay. Now I'm going to show, finally, what, at least in terms of this part of the mod review, or demo, that this isn't working as it should. In the description, they say that the training arrow, which has sort of an interesting recipe, it takes a piece of rabbit hide. So if you haven't found any rabbits, you're not making this arrow. It says it's not supposed to deal any damage. Like how the die arrows have reduced, well, this is not supposed to deal any, but I think this is a work in progress, unless they've changed it with the last update. But okay, let me see if I can get my damage indicator on it, or whatever. Sort of a different damage indicator to do things. Wait, is it? Oh, the update did fix it. Well, it's supposed to be just for target practice purposes. Before, I was having issues where creatures were being damaged by a single point of damage when it was not supposed to be dealing any at all. And that was a bit of a whoops. Apparently they corrected that, so that's nice. Now, another thing about it is it will never stick into a target at all. It does not stick into entities like players. It will always bounce off, including off of objects. So the training arrow is specially allowed to allow you to train, target practice, do whatever, and never lose your arrows, because you can always just pick them back up. So that's the idea behind the training arrow. I need to dispose of some of these extras, because I'm going to be moving on to something else. It is nice to see something doing 1.9 plus combat and embracing it, though, so that's been refreshing. Oops, did not get the lightning arrow. I don't think I need the feather. Okay. But allow me to now illustrate the various shields. These are the shields from Apple Shields. They also, over here, look like they're actually from the Apple company. Like, literally, it's like Steve Jobs would like this shield if he was still around. I mean, really, this is like a tribute to him. So I guess they had that in mind. Interesting news having to come from the mod authors of this one. Team Angry Pixel. They were preparing to update some of their other mods, like the Betweenlands and Erebus, which are big mods that are pretty famous. And apparently one of the side effects of them trying to do shield dynamics was they came up with new shields, and they decided to theme them after apples, which admittedly is in Minecraft quite a bit. Now, these shields are pretty much like vanilla shields, except one thing, you can't really bannerize them, so you can't, like, add your symbols on them. But they do have different durability, so if, in case you're looking for new shields with different durability, and for that matter, apparently different repair items, then these are definitely an idea. For example, this was saying Anvil Repair Apple. This is actually something I don't see very often in mods and in vanilla. Like, it doesn't actually say what the repair item is. This one does. Which, really nice touch there. But as you can see, as I was saying before, I wasn't kidding. It's made out of apples. And an iron ingot just for the handle. Which kind of looks more like a dot or a button on it, which normally is made out of stone. But just take a look at this again. I mean, just from the side here, it looks kind of like a big, pointy button that you press in or something. And you can see the strap on my hand, yeah. But it's like an apple with a button. Really, seriously, an apple with a button. But so there's a thought. But again, these work like normal vanilla shields. So as you can imagine, these are for dual wielding purposes. Now, there are some specialty ones past the Apple Shield that's basic. like the golden apple shield, the enchanted golden apple shield, and these two over here, which are called the eye shields. Or, which, apple tribute. Now, note what it says right here. Self-repairs 1 every 8 seconds, and it has a good durability too. Now, the anvil repair is a gold ingot. That's pretty important, again, because as you repair them up. However, post 1.9, if you can get an enchanting book with mending on it, then you could possibly keep your regular apple shield forever too. But this one auto repairs on its own, so I gotta admit that's a step better. And as I was going to do modeling around with a lot of these, see, golden apple shield. Now, as before, there's also the recipe for it that I need to show here. So, golden apple in the center. Otherwise, made of other red apples. So, yeah, if you're going to be using this mod, you might want to whack more than a few trees, because you're going to be needing those apples. Actually a little disappointed right now that Pam's isn't updated to 1.10 yet, but yeah, later. She's been maintaining it pretty well, so yeah, it's definitely coming in. And as I was showing before this one, pretty obviously, this is my enchanted golden apple shield. I already showed that at the beginning of the mod review. And yeah, it even has the enchanted glow, like it was already enchanted, but it's not. This is just how it looks normally. I'm assuming if you added enchantments to it, like unbreaking, etc., it wouldn't change a bit. And you could probably fool somebody with the other one if it actually shows the enchantment glow. Well, I could experiment with that right now, actually, because that gives me a thought. Now, this one is a bit faster in the auto repair, and its anvil repair is a block of gold, so if you want to repair this normally, which would be kind of unnecessary with its self-repair, you'd use a block of gold. So, yeah, I think that's a little redundant. But the recipe uses an enchanted golden apple. Now, in this particular mod instance, I do have a recipe for these that's basically the old recipe. But normally speaking, after 1.9, you have to find them. You can't craft them anymore. So, this would take a very special use of one of your notch apples. So, yeah, that would be something that you might want to really consider whenever you're trying to get a new cool shield. Now, these are special. You have the eye shield and the eye shield RF. What that means is they relate to redstone. A block of redstone? Okay. I think they ran out of space on the line. But anyhow, to make the non-redstone, well, to make the non-RF version, you need these things called white apples. And those are made with the mod. And they're basically regular apples surrounded with something white. Now, for the RF version that you use to make these, you need some redstone to make it relate with redstone flux power more. Now, you're probably wondering what's the big difference here. Well, that's actually pretty simple. If you've got this, yeah, sure, it has some good durability. Doesn't have auto repair. That's one thing. I guess you could use it for looks. Like, let's switch around here. Okay. Oh, I'm dual wielding apple shields. Okay. Wrong direction. There we go. Sometimes you just gotta hit the button more often than you think you did. Anyhow, I guess it looks kind of like a full iron shield compared to the vanilla version, which looks like wood bracketed by metal, so I guess you could make it look like that. Also, the notch out of the shield really reminds me of some creatures off of Halo. Ever see those guys wielding those shields have that little notch out of it? Well, here you go, and it just keeps on happening. Well, maybe this will water my apples, I don't know. They need moisture. But yeah, these are mainly crafting components. Although you can eat them, they're only about the same as a normal... Okay, now there's definitely no way I'm letting that weather continue. I don't need a thunderstorm right now. This is totally not that time. I'm just using this as a test world. I'm not needing to actually... Really, it just didn't engage. Stay. Good weather. Okay. as I was saying, I'm just using this as a testing world and to do a mod review or two here and there. I'm not really doing a survival right now on it. I'm just testing. So I don't really need a thunderstorm for striking stuff with lightning. It's slightly inconvenient right now. Okay, but as I was saying, one of the big differences is, see how this one has RF? Well, if you have a mod that produces RF and has a charger type device, you can use it with this to totally replace durability. So, yeah, imagine this shield, which apparently has the enchanted glow on it too, always being just recharged rather than breaking. So, there's a thought. That would be really cool. I think that I've got a charger somewhere in this mod pack, but I don't have them charged right now. I guess I could pull off a few things, but this one comes pre-charged, or at least this exact version. I think it has the uncharged and the charged versions in the creative menu, so I think I just picked up the full charge one there just to show how it looks like. Now, as an interesting way to end things off, I'm thinking of actually going into combat with the bow ready and everything. Actually, this brings me to an interesting point. Okay, let's say I go with ice arrows, and I give myself a stack of these. This bow has infinity. Normally, if you have infinity in specialty arrows, like tipped arrows, they are not allowed to be infinite, but I put infinity on just to test whether or not this works. So, okay. Sheep, you may or may not wind up being a sacrifice. I don't know. But I need to at least give off a quick shot here. So I just need to figure out whether or not these arrows are infinite or not. Nope. Infinity enchantments don't work on these. So it is just like how vanilla normally does that. So, yeah. Okay, that's interesting just to know for later, in case I actually start doing things. Now, I'm going to fly over somewhere and see if I can spot a few enemies, because I'd like to do a little actual combat testing here. As I said, this is a testing world, but whenever I do testing, I do, in fact, do survival and creative just to make sure stuff is actually working. So, yeah, as you can see, there's plenty of machas around here. Verdant. But you're not an alpha, are you? The alphas will actually fight. I want to actually fight something. I've learned already in this world, with this seed, I can follow the coastline to get between a couple of important areas, including where I first spawned. I need to clear my throat. I think I just go around this way and I get to that swamp. Because I know there's always some mobs around here. And if I do this, I should be able to have an interesting armed conflict. I have decent armor, but it's not great armor. There's some stuff I can definitely make better with this mod pack, in terms of armor. I guess that could be an interesting subject to attack. I swear that Chupacabra has been just standing there this whole time. It's like he's just staking the place out. Okay, I'm gonna knock him off of here, because he's... I think he wiped out the native Shogoths that were in this area before. Okay, I'm gonna fight a Chupacabra. This sounds like a mythical statement, but it's not. Okay, I'm gonna knock him out of here, because I can. Okay, now, shield. You're gonna see how this performs. Hey, Chupacabra, you still up there? You still up here? Oh, now you move. Just when I'm trying to show how this works. Can't hit me, even? Can you not hit in water? Is that your issue? Why are you not hitting at all? Okay, that was anticlimactic. I did not mean it to go that easy. Okay. Whoops. Maybe I won't be testing that properly. I do have this on... Oh, I didn't know they'd even show up on peaceful. How did that happen? I mean, they're considered like a neutral to aggressive, so they should be able to be just gone on peaceful. So how does that even function? Okay, now I can test this out properly. Sorry about that. I had to clear a few... No, wait, I didn't clear enemies with this. What happened? Did that come through from another profile? Okay, you can't hit me when I've got this. Apparently got the vampire fangs. Jingu! Ooh, didn't guard that in time. Those guys hit much harder, so if you have your shield up, you're good. If you're not, you're kinda screwed. That's interesting to note. Okay, so that's... why am I holding that? Oh, just defaulted to the first thing in my thing. Okay, I get that. I get that. Anyhow. It was a brief performance of that. It held on for a while. But I guess that's going to be over for now. I can handle the Like Knights mobs, but as soon as that abyssal zombie comes by, it's like, whoops! Did not see that one coming. Anyhow, this is Glitch Reaper, and hope you liked this little review of Bullseye, which is all about arrows, and Apple Shields, which adds new shields that look like apples. It really is just what it sounds like. So, yeah, this is Glitch Reaper, and I'm going to be signing off now. So I hope to hear from you all soon. Bye for now.